Good day, family. This is Amber from Amber's Magical Garden and Small Spaces, basically apartment spaces. Um, I wanted to welcome you to another video. I'm in the middle of doing something, and that's what this soil is here for. And I said, you know what, let me make a real quick video for this. Because what are we doing today? Well, let me show you a little something. Do I have one? Do I have one? Everybody knows what this is, I think. This is a potato. Yukon Gold, to be specific. I love Yukon Gold potatoes. And with my garden and its small space, I'm running out of space. Actually, things were a little more spread out, but I notice that every day I'm doing something different in here and more. Like, for instance, that's my little pineapple project over there with my bubbler. Those of you that follow Lead Farmer 73 know exactly what I'm talking about, or unless you've done it before yourself. So anywho, I'm outside. I've done quite a few things, and I can give up an update video a little bit later, but I did want to share this information. Okay, so this is regarding potatoes. A lot of us eat potatoes. Most of us eat potatoes. Some of us are on a specific, I don't want to say diet, but we've changed the way that we eat. So we don't eat as many potatoes, if any. But we've had French fries, we've had hash browns, we've had eggs and potatoes with onions, we've had potato soup, all kinds of things, right? But most of us have seen this too. We're familiar with this. Because sometimes at home, the potato sitting on the counter, and you're wondering, oh my God, let me pop that little thing off and use potato because it's going bad. And actually, what it's not, this is called a chit. And so it is chitting, which means it's starting to take all the nutrients from inside the potato and create sprouts, which are kind of like stems, for the plants. This is better than my tomato plant. So it's creating stems so that it can start to produce leaves, right? And then also produce roots so that it can create more potatoes, right? So I had a bunch of them in this bag. And I was just kind of like, what am I going to do with them? And there was a lot more. But look at this. They've all begun to chit because they're in a dark space. So let me get to my point here. I don't have a lot of space. And yes, you can grow potatoes in a container, in a bucket, right? Or even in a black container. But I was watching these different people and I'm like, I don't really want to put it in a container. There has to be an easier way. So there's this man, I don't know where he's from. I think he's from Great Britain or something. And I just so happened to stumble upon his video, and he was using yogurt containers. Now, this is a general yogurt container that we have here in America, right? Trader Joe's. And I said, oh, you know what? I could do that. Because what he was doing was planting each individual potato in here, but by itself. So that way they would start by themselves. They would begin to grow leaves on their own. And then he transplanted them and continued the process. So this is my first process video, I guess. You guys can come along with me. Right? So anyway, there is a potato in here. I just put some potatoes in here and I covered it up. You can't see them, but they are here. Here's one of the chits to one of them. And this is pretty deep. This is like a spinach bucket that I had, an old spinach bucket. Matter of fact, that's the lid. Recycle, reuse, right? So I filled it up with soil, and then I made little holes in there, and I stood them up so that the chit was like this, because this is where the leaves are going to come from. And so then I put soil in there. So I wanted to take you along on this journey with me while I do this. So I don't know how I'm going to prop this up. I may end up doing it one-handed. But either way it goes, let me move this. Let's see. Hold on one second. How am I going to do this? I don't know, you guys can be entertained by the plants for a moment. Okay, moment up. This is one of the containers that I had my fertilizer water in, my banana water. I actually put some plantains in there, plantain skins, and a couple eggshells and let it sit. Let me tell you, when I opened it, it smelled like an elephant. Have you ever been to the zoo? When you walk up to the elephant enclosure, you know when you have arrived there. That's what that smelled like, all plant-based. It's crazy, crazy. So anyway, wanted to show you what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take one of my containers that I've used. Hold on, gotta sneeze. Excuse me. Promise, no coronavirus. It was the dust. I promise. Okay. So now what I'm doing is I'm getting some of my soil. And eventually I'm going to use this cup too, but I'm using it to scoop right now. And I'm putting just a little in there. Okay? And then I'm going to explain in a second. And this is one of the bigger containers that I'm going to use. About the size of the man's yogurt containers. Like, he was like, oh, this is not going to be a macadamia, and that's what was in there. But he was like, oh, get that yogurt container. And they were bigger than the ones that we use. And my daughter was like, is that for yogurt? And I said, yes. She said, oh my goodness, that's a lot of yogurt. So anyway, I put some soil in there. Take some of it out because I don't need that much. So what I'm doing, it's probably like 1.5 inches, like 2 inches, something like that. So anyway, I'm going in here, and I'm trying to figure out which one I want to put because it's such a deep container. This is a full Yukon Gold that I had that started to, that hasn't chitted yet, but I want it to. But anyway, I'm going to take this one. It has a lot of chits on it already. So a lot of these little yellow looking leaves are going to become green. Okay? But I'm putting it in there. And I'm putting it chit side up. And then what I'm going to do, take my soil and drop it in there, right? Still, chit side up. Get some more soil. Cover. Right? Now normally with regular plants, like when we have baby plants, we don't want to cover the leaves like that because we're like, oh my gosh, they're not going to get sun and we're killing it and all this other stuff, right? The cool thing about this method is we don't water it. What you do is you just put it in soil, dry soil. It's a little damp because of the bag, right? This is palm cactus soil. I like this soil because it's cultivated or created to make sure it has plenty of drainage for cactus and palm. So I like it. But you can get whatever you want, okay? But anyway, so the chit is in here. The potatoes in here. The chits are covered, rather. And so that's it for right now. So now what we're going to do, or what I'm going to do, is put it over here with the rest of them. All of these are dry soil. You don't need to, let me show you why. Get one that's a little bit bigger. Here we go. You don't need to water this. Why don't you need to water that, Amber? It's a plant. It has sprouts. The reason that you don't need to water this is because it doesn't have roots. See? These are all where the leaves are coming from. The roots, there are no roots. So if you water it, all that's going to happen is the water is going to slide down here, and then it's going to create rot. Right now, this plant has all of the moisture that it needs in this potato. And it's going to pull the nutrients and the water from the potato to create leaves and then roots while it is in, well, not in that, but in the soil. Once it creates roots, then you can water it like regularly, right? You don't want it to get super, super dry. Maybe you missed it, or water it a little bit, maybe every few days. But for the most part, and I live in zone 9A in Las Vegas, and right now our summer is here. So I may take these in and start them on the inside of the house. But you don't want to water these yet. But you don't want to let them dry out either, like the Mojave Desert. So you don't water them. You just put them in the soil in a dark space. Remember, they were dark in here. And they chitted, right? They began to chit. And so it's the same principle with the soil, except the soil has nutrients. So through the skin, it's porous, just like our skin has little pores in it. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if you can see that. You can see it. But see how our skin has pores? Well, the potato skin has pores too. So the nutrients is going to go through here to get to here. And then we're going to have a plant. So I just wanted to share that's what I'm doing today. I'm going ahead and moving forward with my potato adventure. So if you found this in particular information helpful, please like my video and then subscribe for other content for small space gardening, apartment living, and hit the notification bell, and then maybe even make a decision to add the notification bell so that every time I upload something, you'll get a notification about it. But anyway, this is Amber from Amber's Small Spaces, Amber's Magical Garden in Small Spaces in Zone 9A. And like I always say, if I can do it on my balcony in my apartment, yeah, I got to do a whole nother video about that. My Napa cabbage bolting and is going to have to produce seeds because it's hot. But anyway, like I was saying, if I can do it, so can you. And by all means, definitely grow something. Peace.